What is up, watch fam? I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today we're going to be diving into 3 different price brackets of Omega Seamaster Diver Alternative. Today, I'm wearing a Rolex Datejust reference 1603 with a crazy taupe wide dial original oyster bracelet. Probably one of the best watches available in the Theo and Harris watch shop. Head on over to the shop if you'd like to admire some vintage pieces. One more thing before we jump in, I'd like to announce this month's winner of our watch giveaway. It's the Undone Basecamp. Thank you again so much to Undone. So without any further ado, the winner is Brian Scala. Congratulations, Brian. We will be shooting. If you guys would like to enter into our next watch giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe and sign up in the link in the description. Doesn't get easier than that. So let's get into 1, why the Omega Seamaster, and 2, what makes a watch a Seamaster alternative? Well, the answer to the first question is fairly obvious. The Omega Seamaster is one of the world's most talked about and praised watches for a lot of reasons. 1, its history, dating all the way back to the mid-20th century. And 2, the quality to price ratio. While the modern divers certainly aren't cheap, retailing around $4,900, the argument is very often made that they pack a hell of a lot more punch per dollar than a lot of their alternatives, from Rolex, for instance. But all that said, as great as Omega is and the entire Seamaster family is, we still do like alternatives for a couple of reasons. 1, to accommodate our budgets, and 2, to explore the other options, to see what's out there. Maybe something a little bit different, maybe something you like a little bit more that doesn't get the same press. So the first watch I want to talk about is from Baume Mercier, a brand that does not get talked about very often, and for fairly good reason. Baume Mercier at one point in history was a wonderful watch brand, and still does consistently produce 1 or 2 models that watch geeks do, give an overwhelmingly positive thumbs up to. But the majority of their modern line does leave much to be desired. But not this watch. The Clifton Club reference 10502. It retails at $2,800, which is just north of half of the Seamaster, and it's gorgeous, especially in blue. It's got this wonderful matte finish and a great color, which is complemented so well by its black bezel and bronze case. It's powered by the ETA 2892. It measures in at 42 millimeters, which is identical to the Omega Seamaster Diver. And one note that I'd love to make, while fairly insignificant but really caught my eye, I think the rubber bracelet here looks amazing. What usually happens with rubber bracelets is because they're kind of thick and, yes, malleable, but they still have their shape, they jet out from the wrist quite a bit and give the entire watch a much larger presence, which with a 42 millimeter watch for me is certainly problematic. But this rubber seems to be, it looks very comfortable, but it seems to drape down the wrist perfectly. I have not held this watch, so I can't confirm that, but that's my suspicion. All the photos seem to affirm it, and if so, big thumbs up to Baume Mercier. The second watch we're going to talk about drops all the way down in price, actually below $500, $490. It's manufactured by Chaz SD and the entire team over at LIV, who has sponsored today's conversation. And this watch has a lot going for it. It comes in both 41 and 44 millimeters, just slightly smaller than the Seamaster and just slightly larger than the Seamaster. It's powered by the ETA 2824, which is backed by their 5-year warranty, which I think is a really positive note. And it's water resistant up to 300 meters, so yes, it is a true dive watch. What I think you'll notice here that aligns LIV Ceramic Diver with the Omega Seamaster so clearly is the wave pattern on the dial. It's not something many brands do, but I know it's a fan favorite, and as a dive watch, the pattern is obviously very appropriate. If you'd like to learn more about the Ceramic Diver by LIV, the link is down in the description. Now, let's jump up from $490 up past $10,000 to another Seamaster alternative. Actually, to $13,000, which is a significant indiscrepancy on my part. This is Blancpain's new 50 Fathoms, the Barracuda. It is technically a reissue of a watch that Blancpain manufactured, but I think Blancpain has gone above and beyond to bring this old, beautiful watch, but still a muted vintage, collectible to modernity. I think crucify me. I think that the new one is even more beautiful. I think the reissue is far superior than the vintage, and I'm a vintage geek. I love the matte dial, I love the thick hands, I love the red accents on each hour marker. I think the date window is perfectly executed. Automatique in French is way classier than automatic. And that kind of domed or curved black sapphire bezel is totally unique in its space and I think extremely attractive. I only have 2 problems with this watch, and they are kind of major problems. One, it's a limited edition piece to 500. I do not understand this. Why is it that Blancpain, a brand who I think kind of struggles to differentiate, a brand that, you know, is not at the top of the pack, would choose to make such a wonderful and such a widely accepted and admired watch so limited? It drives me freaking bananas, because this watch could be something that I would talk about fairly constantly. And yet, although I gave it this space because I wanted to share it with you, it's really a waste of our time, right? I mean, how many people are going to get? 500 people are going to get them. That's it. I'm sorry for everyone else. If you do have a connection to get one, I would suggest that you do contact them, because it's a really wonderful watch. My second problem, which is minor, is they bill this watch as ultra slim, which I don't think is just empirically, it's just not true. It's 13.23 millimeters, which, first of all, is not that thin of a watch to begin with. But even in the context of the greater Blancpain 50 Fathoms collection, it's almost no different. Other 50 Fathoms are measuring at 13.5 millimeters or 13 3/4. I don't think the difference in the size is enough to, market this thing separately. That being said, small detail, but I do love the watch. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Omega Seamasters are wonderful watches, some of my favorites, but I definitely think everyone needs to kind of open their eyes and take a look what's out there. Maybe something will suit them a little bit better. See you guys soon. It's the Phantom of the Opera is...